Work even stopped at the White House today. About 200 White House staffers gathered to watch the game when, lo and behold, their boss walked in and began to lead them in cheer.
I believe that we can win! I believe that we can win! I believe that we can win!
Well, he believed in a lot of things that didn't quite work out. Just put that one on the list.
Okay, we'll get to soccer in a moment, but back with our roundtable, and we want to start with the Supreme Court and Donna, Hobby Lobby.
Yes.
A fierce divide in the Supreme Court this week. Earlier, they sided with Hobby Lobby in a 5-4 decision that says that the company does not have to provide contraception because of their religious beliefs. Later in the week, they issued an order providing temporary relief to a nonprofit college that also objected. This provoked the female justice to issue a statement saying those who are bound by our decisions usually believe they can take us at our word. Not so today.
Well, let me tell you, this was a tough week because the Supreme Court...
And very hard to follow.
Well,
now, what does that mean?
It is,
yeah.
But the bottom line is the Supreme Court basically ruled that bosses can tell women what they can and cannot do with their body. They can control our reproductive health care. This has nothing to do with religious freedom. This has everything to do with the Supreme Court now saying corporations are people. Well, corporations have no soul, they have no prey, they're legal entities. And now our bosses can tell us what we can and cannot do in order to maintain our own health and reproductive health.
Something tells me that's not the way you're reading that decision.
The hysteria on the left about this is unbelievable. First of all, Hillary Care 20 years ago had a broader provision. The bill that Senator Moynihan introduced for Hillary had a broader provision in favor of corporate right to opt out. Second, the Hobby Lobby provided 16 out of the 20 contraceptions. The only 4 they didn't provide are abortifications, which are a fundamental violation for people who believe that life begins at conception. So you go down the list. Nobody says women can't use their own money to buy contraception. In the case of Hobby Lobby, they're providing 16 of the 20.
And they provided all 20 before the Affordable Care Act.
Matt Dowd, what are the implications here?
Well, that's what happens in the last 10 or 15 years is we drop these kind of things in the toxic environment we're in, and then we have two sides that respond basically overstating. Most people that have read this case and read all the briefs surrounding this is a very limited case. But we have the left that say it's a war on women. We have the right that says this is a war on religion. And both sides in this case, which is very limited, and I agree with the speaker on this, this is not about banning contraceptions. This is about saying we as a company don't want to pay for these 4. So it's not banning it. And each side has overstated the case on this, which happens every time we throw these issues in the midst of this environment.
Matt Bai, we like to think that the court is above the divisions in the country,
Still?
but it didn't seem that way. It didn't seem that way this week.
No, I mean, look, the court has always been a political and a social and a cultural institution. That hasn't changed. I was struck in this week by how much what's happening on the court reflects what's happening in the rest of the society. Because you didn't just see, this isn't just a breakdown of left justices and justices on the right. It's women, right? It's all the women on the court. Now, for years, we had one woman justice. She was a Republican. Now you have 3 women justices, all of whom sided against the men on the court. It's to some extent demographic. All 3 of them are from New York City originally. I mean, you have a much more, suburban or other, Western or Midwestern representation on the rest of the court. So I think, you're seeing the cultural divisions at large in the country play out as you always do.
But it is a problem because people now take the court decisions and are now viewed as a partisan way. That never used to be the case. So we now accept or reject what the court says based upon our partisan leanings. And that's never happened
But we
before.
don't pick and choose among what services, what reproductive services, or what health care services men use, but we do it among women. And birth control, contraception.
I don't know who's doing that.
Women's health.
Nobody's banning it.
The Supreme Court.
Nobody is banning it.
But you're saying that if I work and I contribute, my health care now has to be basically tailored by my boss.
Okay, I'm gonna switch us on to a pleasant topic.
That's the Affordable Care Act.
No, it says
okay, Donna, Matt, hang on, because we're going to talk about the World Cup, whether you like it or not. And I know you want to talk about the World Cup. Okay, we lost, but so many Americans watched this game. Will this continue? I mean, it was so surprising how many tuned into this. And it says something about this nation and how it's changing.
Well, I think we love the idea, and every time we come around, it's like the Olympics. We have this. I still have some doubts whether how much this is going to attach to the American public over time. I think part of the problem is we're used to a different kind of game. We're used to a game where you can have breaks and go to the bathroom, and you can have breaks and go get something to eat, and there's more activity and there's more conflict on the field, much more conflict, even though we saw a lot of conflict in the Brazil-Colombia game. I think it's going to take a while because this is not a sport the American public really tunes into.
Maybe.
I disagree.
Maybe.
I love the
think
athletes. Oh, they were sweaty.
Oh, yeah. We had all the athlete stories.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, Donna is definitely going to keep watching.
Keep going.
Thanks to all of you.